Hello everyone! Happy Tuesday! I hope you're all having a great week. I hope you all had a great week last week since we couldn't be together last week. My name is Jessa Blackthorne and welcome to Much Ado About Gaming, the show all about WizKids Board Games. I have a really cool show for you today. We're going to be unboxing a game and I am so excited because the game looks amazing. But before I start, I just want to remind you all that this is a show about board games, so that's what I'm going to mainly be focused on. You can ask any questions you like in the chat. I am live right now, so just type question in all caps and then your question just so I make sure I catch it, and if I can answer that question, if I know the answer, I'll be happy to let you know, and I'll be happy to answer your question. I can't really answer any questions about HeroClix or Dice Masters. I'm sorry, I don't have any information to give you. If I did, I would, but this is a show about board games, so we're going to talk about board games. How is everyone doing? I hope, like I said, I hope you're all having great weeks. You know, I'd love to hear about any exciting WizKids board games you might have played this week. I love doing this show for you. I love hearing from you all. Mod Extra, thank you. I am doing great today. Thank you. The lighting is great. It's, you know, I sit in front of a window, so sometimes it's not cooperative if it's like a, you know, cloudy day, but today we're killing it. We're killing it on the lighting, so thank you. Thank you for that. But why don't we dive right in to the show? The show that we're doing today is, of course, going to be an unboxing. So let's get right into our feature presentation. And today, of course, we are unboxing the D&D Adventure System board game Ghosts of Saltmarsh expansion. Now, this is really, really, really cool. If you're familiar with the D&D Adventure System board games, you kind of know what you're in for, and this is specifically... Oh, is the top of my head cut off? Oh no. Let's fix that real quick, because it's very strange. Alright, hold on one second, y'all. That's better. Anyway, so Ghosts of Saltmarsh is a new expansion to the Adventure System board game series of D&D games. There are a number of different games in this series. If you're familiar with the series, you know there's so many great games, great stories. We've released several of them. Some of the WizKids ones that you can play and kind of integrate into this game, or integrate this into them, are Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the Temple of Elemental Evil, and of course Tomb of Annihilation. We also released kind of a standalone game that's in a similar vein called Assault of the Giants, but it's not the same, so that won't actually work with this, but I did want to mention it because I know sometimes there's some confusion about whether or not they're related. But this is really gorgeous. You can kind of see some of the pictures here. You can see some of the minis from this, and we're going to be unboxing it in just a few minutes, but I wanted to give you guys kind of a rundown of this particular game. So you kind of have an understanding of what Ghost of Saltmarsh is. I'm really excited. So I'm going to kind of read you the rundown of all the information. Ghost of Saltmarsh is an expansion to any of the previous Adventure System games. It features all new adventures, new tiles, monsters, traps, and spells, so it's got a lot of new cool stuff going on. You pick your favorite heroes, so, you know, if you've been playing with the same heroes, or, you know, you have kind of a long-running campaign going in the Adventure System series, you can grab your heroes and get ready for an all-new adventure. And what an adventure it is. To be fair, I haven't actually had a chance to play it yet, but I've been reading kind of the adventure book, and I've been reading some of the stuff from it, mostly because I need to be able to read it to be able to talk about it, and it seems really amazing, and I'm really excited to get it to the table, because I finally got my new board game table in, and it is amazing, and we are going to have game nights, and I'm so excited to be able to host game nights. I know that's really weird, but I used to live in a really small apartment, and we couldn't have game nights, and we couldn't have people over because there was no space. And now we have space and a table and game nights, and this is going to be one of the first game nights I have is doing the D&D Adventure System games because they just seem so cool and a great way to play D&D, in a way that doesn't require you to have a DM, so everyone can really enjoy the experience, and I really love that. So Ghost of Saltmarsh allows you to return to the classic gameplay of the D&D Adventure System, but it has some exciting new changes. You still take on the role of a D&D hero with thematic skills and abilities either on your own or as a group of up to 5 adventurers, and you face multiple scenarios in an overarching campaign, evolving and leveling up your character on the way. You explore treacherous caves, avoid deadly traps, and you defeat terrifying monsters. You can also play your favorite scenarios on their own as a standalone experience. So if you really like one adventure and you're like, man, I want to play this again with a different character, you have that opportunity. And that's what I think. I really love that flexibility. I think that's really cool. I think that's really fun. So this particular one, as you know, the D&D Adventure System board games always have miniatures in them. And this particular one includes 8 new highly detailed... Tell me if I'm pronouncing this wrong. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I should have practiced pronouncing this. I didn't. Sawagin. I'm still fairly new to D&D. Like, I've only been playing for a couple years, and I've never played Saltmarsh, so if I'm pronouncing that wrong, please tell me how to pronounce it in the comments. Let me know. I want to pronounce it right for you all. 8 new highly detailed miniatures, including 2 powerful new villains to encounter in your adventures. And the miniatures are really cool. I have both the standard edition and the premium edition here with me, so I'm going to show you both. And I'm going to show you how to differentiate between the two of them if you're at the store. So, Wagon, I got it right! Yes! Awesome! I'm so proud! Thank you to, oh god, I forgot the word. Thank you, Phonetic Alphabet Studies from high school. Yes. But the minis are really cool. I'll show you how to differentiate between the standard edition and the premium edition. The standard edition, of course, comes with unpainted minis. They're single color. So the villains are green, or the villains are purple, and the other minis are green. And then the premium edition comes with fully painted miniatures, and I have them with me, so I'll show you how to differentiate, I'll show you everything. I got you. I'm really pumped today. I had cold brew this morning, and I'm feeling it right now. I timed it perfectly to have a really great show for you guys. But you add the miniatures that come in this expansion to the ones from your Adventure System games to populate the board, and you also use the included tokens to represent any monsters you might not already have. So it includes everything to really be able to play this with any of the other Adventure System games, regardless of whether or not you have everything from it, which is really great because it doesn't expect you to have a specific one of the Adventure System games. It's flexible enough that you can use it with any of them. Sahu, again, according to Jeremy Crawford, but I've always pronounced it the way you did. Well, I'm gonna have to do some research. Maybe I'll reach out to V. We're still friends, so I'll reach out to her. I'll ask her, how do you pronounce this? We'll crowdsource the pronunciation and find out, because I'm really interested. It's always interesting to see how people pronounce different things kind of in different regions. Some people pronounce, the same word many different ways. And there are even times where the same thing can be pronounced canonically multiple different ways. And so I'd be really interested to see how everyone pronounces it. How do you pronounce it? Tell me how you pronounce it in the comments. I would love to know. But this game is coming out hopefully in August 2021. As you know, there are worldwide shipping issues going on right now, so this one may move. I'm not 100% sure. But we are expecting it to come out this month, which is really exciting. It includes, I'm going to give you the list of components, and then we're going to, like I said, I'm going to show you the components. So you don't have to worry about, I'm reading this and you're going to have to remember all of it. No, I'm going to show you everything. It includes 29 illustrated interlocking dungeon tiles, 8 pre-painted or unpainted highly detailed plastic miniatures, 1 rulebook, 1 adventure book, and you can find both the rulebook and the adventure book on the WizKids website, wizkids.com. Go to Box Strategy Games. It is the very first thing on that page. Click there, you'll see a link to download the rulebook and the adventure book so you can take a look. Familiarize yourself with it in advance so you're ready to go the day the game comes out. I always like pre-preparing for a game that I'm really excited for because I know that everything's going to be set. I don't have to spend a whole ton of time learning everything in advance, but I go through it once and then I'm ready to go and I'm really excited. And then I teach everyone in my group. Shark people. That's funny for minis. It also includes 148 cards, which is a great, amazing number of cards, and 154 markers and tokens. So there are a lot of components in this game. And, you know, they're all really nice quality. They all look awesome. I'm going to show them to you in just a second. But the game runs... if you're just playing the expansion, it runs probably over an hour, probably a little over an hour. It depends, obviously, on how fast your group kind of moves through things. It plays 1 to 5 players, ages 14 and up, and the standard edition is $49.99, and the premium edition is $89.99. So, those are the price points you can expect for this game. As you can see next to me, the photos that have been cycling are obviously of this, so if you're interested in what things look like in a really nice photography way, that's there. But why don't we go ahead and talk about the game itself. Hello. So let's get on to the unboxing, friends. So, I put the lid on sideways when I put it back on earlier, but... So, this is the standard edition. Now, you won't be able to tell immediately, like, so the way we kind of do the standard edition and the premium edition of these games is we indicate it on the plastic wrap on the outside. There is another way to tell whether it's standard or premium, and I'll show you that in a second. But just to give you an idea, with the plastic over the game, the standard edition will just have plastic and there won't be any sticker on it. For the premium edition, and I actually partially unwrapped this before I remembered that, hey, I have to show you what it looks like for the premium edition, so it's half unwrapped. But the premium edition has this sticker here, so you can see it says premium edition, fully painted miniatures inside, and then see back for details. So that is going to tell you whether or not it's the standard or the premium edition. Now, if for whatever reason you have both, or for whatever reason, like, the plastic wrap is off, and you don't know, and you don't want to open it, and you don't know whether or not it's the standard or premium, the other way you can tell is by the SKU number. So, for those of you not familiar, the SKU number is kind of like the item code for our products. So, that's going to tell you what specific item it is. And so the SKU is always going to be, if you look at the barcode, right here, I'm going to get real close here. Look at the barcode. You can see that this one says 87542 right at the end there. That 2 means it's the standard edition. And then for the premium edition, I might have to take the plastic off this, it's shiny. For the premium edition, whoop, there we go, 87543. So if it's got the 3 at the end, that means it's the premium edition. So those are the 2 main ways you can tell whether you're looking at the standard or the premium edition. I'm going to take the plastic off this for a second, so I'm going to mute my mic for just 1 second, because it's going to be a horrible loud sound. All done. But yes, so those are the 2 ways you can tell. And I like having more than one way to tell, because, you know, I like being able to kind of triple check things. I'm weird about that. I like knowing for sure. And I mean, there shouldn't ever be a problem. As long as the plastic's on, you're gonna know immediately, but, you know, it's nice to have a second way to tell just in case. Alright, so this is the standard edition again. So we are going to take the lid off, and we're going to start unboxing. And then I will open up the premium edition in a few minutes when we're looking at the minis and show you those. But everything else besides the miniatures is the same. I'm so happy there's so many people here today. Hello, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the show. So, first of all, I just want to talk about the cover. I didn't really mention it before, but I just think the cover is so cool. I really like it, like, really sells that feeling of, like, you're in, like, a piratey, like, water world type deal. I really like it. I like the whole thing. I think it's really fun. Now, I'm gonna check something. with the premium edition. But anyway, when you take the lid off, you're going to be greeted with this. This has the adventure book. It has kind of a figure reference for everything, so you can see how the tiles kind of go together, and then it also has the rule book in it. So it's in plastic, it's nice, it's wrapped. I want to check if the premium, because I hadn't opened the premium, as you could see the plastic was still on it, and I was afraid that if I took the plastic off, I wouldn't be able to get it back on to show you the sticker. So we're going to open up the premium real quick, and I just want to see if the figure reference on that has them fully painted. If I can get this lid off. As you know, getting the lid off a brand new game there's always a little bit of like trapped air. Yep, okay. That is what I thought. So, the figure reference on the premium edition shows the figure renders fully painted. So this is the premium edition. You can see everything pretty clearly. And then I'll pull those out of the other one. And then the standard edition shows the renders. I just broke the plastic Ziploc bag. Don't do that. Don't be me. Look at what you're doing as you're doing it. The standard edition has the single color minis. So that's another way as you're opening it you can tell. Obviously if you're opening it you can just look at the minis, but it doesn't hurt to have additional ways of being sure. Like I said, it's never been a problem, but I understand wanting to have second and third and fourth ways to be sure what, you're getting. So this is the rule book. The rule book is very small. It's only, 4 pages, 3 pages. So, and we'll talk a little bit about this in a second. I want to go through the components first, and then we'll kind of talk about the rule book. And this is the adventure book, which I love the cover of so much. Ooh. And the adventure book's, of course, a little longer. It has information about all the adventures, special rules, information, the tile layouts, everything like that you need. And this has 9 adventures in it. So you got 9 different things that you're going to be doing. And there is, of course, an FAQ on the back. Which, might answer any questions you have about specific things you'd be doing during your adventure. So we're going to save the minis for last. And we're going to start with, so when you open the box, what you're going to see, I'm going to use this box actually. Because I already unwrapped the cards and they're going to slide away if I try to turn and show them to you. So what you're going to see when you open the box is this. It's just the insert. After you take out the rulebooks, the insert, the minis, and the cards. And that's because, and the cards are wrapped, and that's because the tiles for the game are underneath the insert. So when you take the insert off, the tiles will be in there and you can punch them. And they're plastic wrapped. So everything is neatly organized. I was a little confused too when I opened the box and I was like, where's the tiles? But they're underneath the insert and that's really nice. So the first thing we're going to look at is the cards. And there's a lot of cards. Like we said, I forgot the exact number, 148 cards. So there's a lot of different cards in the game. And then I will mention that in the rulebook, there's something mentioned called a villain card. If you're familiar with the Adventure System board games, you know what that means. But if you're not, if you're kind of new to the Adventure System board games, it's worth noting that the villain card is not like a card like this. It's actually, it's in the punch board. So I'll show you exactly what that is right now. Let me grab it so you can see what it means when it says villain card. Because the very first time I ever played one of these, I saw the word card and I was very confused. I was like, there's no card. It's cardboard. So I just accidentally punched it, grabbing it. So it's in the punch board. Well, they're well cut. It's in the punch board and it looks like this. This is the villain card. So it's not going to be a traditional paper card. It's going to be a cardboard card. Dropped a token. But let's look at the cards. Let's look at the actual cards. So the first set of cards you'll have are trap cards. So, trap cards say trap on the back. If you're familiar, you know. There are, wait, I have the number, 6 of them. So you have different trap cards for, you know, whatever may happen in your adventure. So you have those. Next up you have, and there's a lot of these. New cards are always kind of slippery, and I'm always very clumsy with them, so I kind of drop them sometimes. Next up you have encounter cards. And there are 38 of these, and they are kind of this kind of olive color, and they're kind of that brownish green. So, encounter. There's lots of different encounters that can happen in the game. So you have like poisoned arrow, you have slick footing, lots of different things, and there's both event encounter cards and event attack encounter cards, so you know, there's more than one type of encounter card. I'm kind of trying to cater this both to people who've never played ASG games and people who are very familiar with them. So if I seem like I'm over-explaining things, that's why. Because I want to make sure that everyone who's watching can understand what I'm talking about. Alright, next up we have monster cards. Now when I first opened this, just as a heads up, the monster cards were mostly together, but there were like 2 or 3 that were split later in the card pile. So you might have that too, so just don't be confused by that. You should have a total of 55 monsters. And then they have this is like I would call this like a gray sea foamy kind of color. And then you have, you know, all the things, they have all the infos about the monsters. The tactics that the monster uses, the AC, the HP, the type, and then any additional information, attack, damage, and the XP that they grant. They're also numbered, so if you're ever not sure, if you think you're missing one, each of the cards, I'll show you this in the bottom corner, is numbered. And that's for all of the cards, so you can always just, you know, look at those numbers, line them up by number, and see what number's missing. So it makes it really easy. Fry minis. So you can always see what card is missing that way. Next up, we have spell cards, and there are 9 of those, and these are probably my favorite of the card backs. I just really like it. It's kind of like a starry purple sky. It's very pretty. I really like it. But there's, like I said, 9 spells, so, and each spell is colored. So you have different colors, and of course the greens don't like my green screen. You have different colors to indicate what the spell is, and that'll really help make it easy to keep track. Especially if you're someone who really relies on color in the way they think. I'm kind of like that. I work off of color. I'm very responsive when it comes to colors, especially in games, so having things be color-coded really helps me, and if you're like that too, it'll probably really be helpful for you. Next up, and I think lastly, we have the adventure cards, and there are 40 of those, and there are, of course, different events that can happen, and then you also have different kind of characters, enemies that are not necessarily monsters, and some that are monsters, but you have those. So they aren't meant to be placed in the monster decks. So for example, some of them, they're kept separate, and certain adventures, so they're specifically for specific adventures, and those will tell you how those monster cards, or how those adventure cards that might be enemies are to be used. So the game will tell you how to do that. And those are the cards, and then now we're going to look at the tiles. Michael, hello, welcome. So these are really nicely cut, and so that means I'm probably going to pop a bunch of them out as I'm going, so I apologize. But there's a number of different things in the punch board. There are, of course, I'm going to try not to pull everything out because I don't want to drop everything everywhere and make a mess, but maybe I'll put some photos on my Instagram of this really nicely laid out on the table. If you want to check those out, I'll probably do it today. I might do it tomorrow. You can follow me on Instagram at _Blackthorne. Blackthorne is spelled with an E at the end. You can see it in the corner right here next to me. Spell it that way. So THE_Blackthorne. And you can see those tiles and the pictures that I'll be taking of the game today, just, you know, to post to show you all there. So this is one of the dungeon tiles. And the dungeon tiles give you information on them of how you can use. So, for example, this, I believe this red symbol, it's been a while, this is an ambush symbol. So that indicates where special effects happen from certain encounter card draws and also special adventure rules. So they're indicating to you where certain things take place. They also have monster symbols, so I always put the monster symbols upside down. This means where you are supposed to place monsters. So when you put this when this tile is in play, that's where a monster goes. Another type of symbol is, if I can find one with it on it, hang on here. Shoot to, oh, there we go. I love punching games. I think it's really fun. It's nice and relaxing. It's, I don't know, for me it's like cutting sprue. But if you see a symbol with this X in a box, that is a trap symbol. That will tell you where to place traps, and there are different trap tokens that will be face down, and then you place it on that symbol. And then after you do that, when you reveal it, the token will indicate what kind of trap. Some tokens will damage the hero, some tokens don't. It really depends on the token. Mike, hello, thank you for tuning in. But those are kind of the different types of dungeon tiles, and the different symbols you can see on them. There are a number of other components in the cardboard, so let's move on from the dungeon tiles. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna show you every dungeon tile right this second. You did see a bunch of them in the photos earlier. If you missed those, definitely check them out. Just earlier in this video, you'll see what, you know, a bunch of really lovely photos of the different dungeon tiles, and you can kind of see what they look like. But next up we have, oh, and I should say there are 23 interlocking dungeon tiles, but there's also double-sized special tiles. So let me show you those really quick. If I can get them out. I'm like so scared of losing components. Also, some dungeon tiles, I didn't mention this, some dungeon tiles have special rules. So like the antechamber here has to be next to antechamber B, unless some rule tells you otherwise. Alright, here are the double-sized tiles. So you have, for example, this throne room is a double-sized tile. There are 6 of these. So there's 2 per cardboard. They're of course double-sided, so that makes up the main map. But those are special tiles for different conditions within your adventure. So those are the double-sized tiles. So next, let's move on to the condition markers. So there's a number of different condition markers. These work just like conditions in regular D&D. So I'm not going to show you again every single individual one, because that would require me to punch every single individual one, and that would take forever. But you have, and these are double-sided, so this is important. So you have things like this one that says advantage. On the back it says disadvantage, so you have a number of those. There's 5 of each type, and there's this one which says stunned, and that one says stunned on both sides, which I believe those are for monsters specifically, but let me double check. as I said, okay. So these are actually also condition markers. So stunned, this kind of gives you information about the character condition. And then poisoned on the other side, and that describes the condition of being poisoned. The exact size of the grid on the tiles, I am not 100% sure, but that is a very good question. I don't know that I have an answer for you on that right now, but I can certainly find out, and I will share it possibly on Twitter. So keep an eye on Twitter too. Same username as Instagram, _Blackthorne. That's where generally if I get a question during the show and I don't know the answer, I'll generally find out for you and then I'll tweet about it. So that's where you're going to have the best chance of me sharing the answer to that question. The size of the grid, thank you, Michael, is 1 inch. So it is a 1 inch grid. It's a standard D&D grid. So it's really convenient. Thank you for that. Band of Badgers, I don't know what the level range is. I believe it's the same typical level range, so I don't think it allows you to go to higher levels. But like I said, same as I said about the grid, I can find out and tweet out the answer after the show. Just so that way you know, and then I know, and then we all know something new, and we're learning together, and isn't that great? Back to the components. I always look at the components as I'm doing this to make sure I say the right names for things. Alright, so then we also have... Okay, that's what it is. So these smaller ones are for monsters. These smaller, like, kind of angled ones. And then the bigger ones with the descriptions on them are for heroes. Fry Minis, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great day. We also have, then we did the cards. So there's also a number of different circles. There's 20mm circles and there's 25mm circles. For the 20mm circles, there's only 7 of them. And there are different goblin enemies. So, for example, and they're really tiny. So this is the goblin archer. Come on. Focus! And there goes one of the cardboard, that's fine. So that's the goblin archer. There's also the goblin cutter and the goblin champion. And those are specifically, I believe those are for a specific adventure in the game. But there's 7 of them. So you have that. And then you also have the 25mm circles, which are a little bit larger, and they have a number of different things that they represent in the game. So, for example, there are lots of flood tokens, because obviously Saltmarsh is kind of water-based, it's piracy, it's all that. So you have a lot of these flood tokens. There are 12 of them, and it does not like my green screen. You also have... I read that wrong. Monster tokens. So these are tokens representing different monsters in the game. This is the Grey Ooze. You have ship tokens, which have this ship on them, and they look like the flood tokens otherwise. And they're double-sided with the ship on both sides. And then you have villager tokens, which are, I don't think any of these are villager tokens. They are not. Let's find the villager tokens. There they are. Yep. So you have different villager tokens. These represent people from the village. Of course, you can see. And they say, and I'll show you once this focuses. Come on. Come on. Cooperate, please. Please cooperate. It does not like me today, apparently. There we go. So these are the villager tokens. There's 2 types, and I'll show you the other one. But you can see they say villager on the back, so you know exactly what they are. This is the other villager token. And then turning it, and it says villager on the back as well, so it's a different color. You also have the Eleander and Manistrad tokens. Those are tied to a specific adventure. Obviously, many of the tokens are tied to specific adventures, which is nice because it means, like I said, you have all the resources for your adventure. So this is the Manistrad token, and that's Manistrad Copperlocks. And then you have Eleander. Eleander Fireborn. And then next up we have the... we went to the villagers, Eleander, Manistrad. Okay, so those are all the 25mm tokens. There's 100 of them total. 30 villager tokens, 1 of Eleander, 1 of Manistrad, 12 flood tokens, 54 monster tokens, and 2 ship tokens. If you have that, you also have the feral troll token, which is bigger. And he is somewhere in here. There's my feral troll. So this is the feral troll token. You can see he looks very frightening. Or friendly, depending on your, your feelings about trolls. Feral troll. And then, of course, we have 15 trap tokens. So the trap tokens are square. So this one is the water jet trap tokens, and there are 3 of these. There are also and things are in different places, so I gotta keep looking for them. See, I could have punched this before the show, but I was like, I wanted to show you the punching in action so you can see what the board looks like unpunched. And now I'm regretting that, because this one has so many components and so much punching. So these are some of the other trap tokens. You've got empty, you've got the arrow trap, you've got draw. So empty traps don't do anything, but it still makes tension in the game because you don't know until you flip the trap token over what is going to be underneath it, and that really makes it extra fun, extra tense. And then we also have the complex trap tokens, which are somewhere. Poison dart, magic ward, floodgate. Okay. So, oh, that's right. They're mixed together with the regular traps. So, you've got, here you can see this is the floodgate complex trap, and it's double-sided, so it says floodgate on the back. The other trap tokens just say trap on the back. So if it's a regular trap and not a complex trap, it's going to be double-sided. And then we have working my way through this. The poison dart, magical ward, and the cave-in. So those are the other 3 complex traps, and those are, like I said, it's 4 total, so 1 of each type. And then the last type of token we have that is now at the bottom of this pile of components is the guard tokens, which there are 6 of them. So these are the guard tokens. I really like the shield shape of them. I think it's fun. But these are just obviously the guards for the area. Come on. Come on. Focus, please. Please. You'd think asking the camera nicely would get it to focus, but no. There we go. Alright, so that's the guard token, and then that's the back of the guard token. So those are all the tokens. So there's a lot. You're going to do quite a bit of punching when you're opening up this game, and there's a lot of different things, but luckily there's a nice amount of space in the insert, so when you are punching things, you'll have, plenty of room to put things away, which is really nice. But now, of course, we're going to move on to what everyone wants to see. I know. You all want to see the minis. Well, I'm about to show you the minis. In just 1 second. Once I put all of these tokens away so I don't make a mess and lose them. But then we'll see the minis. Who's excited for the minis? Anyone feeling anything in particular? Premium, standard? You have to see the minis to decide. I think the minis are always a really exciting part of this. But I mean, the other components deserve love too, because they're all so great and they're really nicely made and really well designed. And so, you know, even if it's a minis-based game and you're really excited about the minis, let's take a moment to appreciate just how well done the other components are. Like, we gotta give them some love. They're great. Alright, so I'm just putting this together. Alright, so... mini time. Alright, so... obviously, because the enemy minis are not, because the minis are not single color in the premium edition, so they say purple and green in the rulebook, but they're not. They're all pre-painted. But there's only 2 of them, and they're together in their plastic, so you'll know exactly what's what. Oh god, did I just break it? Leave it to me, guys, to break things. I am just really bad at life. I didn't break it. I'm just having a hard time getting it out. Yep. Okay, it's fine. It's not broken. We're good. We're good. I'm extremely clumsy and I break things very easily, so anything that breaks is probably my fault. But this did not break. We are good. It's flexible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the standard minis first, then I'm going to show you the premium minis, and then I'm going to show them side by side. I'm going to specifically call this out because this was the thing I just kind of struggled a little bit with. The Sahuagin Baron, when you take it out of the plastic, he has this spear thing, and it's kind of taped in with the plastic in there. Just be careful when you're pulling it out. It's not going to break. It's a very flexible piece of plastic. But, like, you want to kind of... I don't know how to show this. You want to kind of pull the plastic guard piece out to be able to get it off of his little trident weapon. It'll come off really easily. Just be careful with it. Like, don't, like, twist it too much, because then it probably would break. But it did not break on me. So, we're going to start with the Green Monster minis first. There are 6 of them, and they're all really nicely detailed. I actually really like that they're green, because they really kind of give the, like, sea monster kind of vibe. So this is the Sahuagin Champion. And this will, obviously, it's right out of the packaging, so it's gonna, you know, go back into its normal place as it's out. But, Rick, thank you. This is the Ghosts of Saltmarsh Adventure System board game expansion. So this is not a full set of D&D, but these are the minis from the standard edition right now, and then I'm going to be showing off the premium edition minis. So that's the Sahuagin Champion. This is just a regular Sahuagin. So you can see, obviously they're green, and I have a green screen, so maybe I'll take some nice close pictures of them and post them on my Instagram, so keep an eye on that. Ooh, I'm good at dropping stuff, I'm clumsy. This is the Sahuagin Blade Master. He has a nice sword and shield. He's ready to fight. I really, really like the detail on these, and the textures are really nice. It's really kind of hard to get an angle with the camera on his face. Come on. No? You're not going to cooperate for me? Okay. Okay. I can't have pets, so I gotta talk to my camera like it's a pet. Obviously. So this is the another regular Sahuagin. These have a ton of texture, and, like, they're really nicely detailed. Oh, I should also mention, Rick, the release date for this is probably the end of this month, with worldwide shipping issues. I'm not exactly sure of the exact date, but that's approximately when we're looking to release this. the Sawagan Blade Master. And I'll go back to the little information screen after I finish showing the minis. So it seems like there's 3 of the regular Sawagan, 2 Blade Masters, and 1 Champion, because this is the last one and it is the regular Sawagan. So those are the standard edition ones. So let me show you the standard edition villains. So this is the Sawagan Baron. This is the one I mentioned with the trident weapon, where it's going to be a little odd when you take it out and just be really careful with it. But look at that texture. Like, look at all that detail. That's amazing. And the painted one looks really cool, so I'm excited to show that. I'm very excited because for model behavior, I just got one of those spinny things that we can spin the minis around on, and I'm really excited to be able to show those on the show tomorrow. So be sure to tune in to that. And this is the Sawagan High Priestess. She is spellcasting, and she looks, I mean, yeah, she looks amazing. Again, the textures on these are fantastic. The detail, even if it's a single color mini, the detail is still, you can still really see the detail, and it's spectacular. Michael, thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a great day. Please tune in tomorrow for model behavior, and be sure to check out the paint night event on Sunday with V right here on WizKids Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. So those were the standard edition single color minis. Now I'm going to show you the premium edition pre-painted minis, and then I'll show you them next to each other so you can really see side by side just how incredible these minis are. So let me just put these in their groups to make it a little easier. Alright, so first up we have, these are the regular Sawagan. And you can't see them at all because they're green. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn off my green screen for just a minute, just so you can see what these look like. So give me 1 second here to, but it's this, okay. Okay, so green screen's off. That doesn't work either because I have to turn the actual green screen function off. I know what I'm doing. 1 second. I really want you guys to be able to see these, so filters, chroma key, there we go, okay. Alright, so pay no attention to the man behind the curtain as I turn off my green screen so I can show you this. So this is the regular Sawagan. You can really see the color detail is fantastic. There's a great kind of, looks like it's probably like a brownish wash on it. I'm still learning painting. I'm very new to it, but I really love the way the colors are used here. I like how it's bright and fantastical and fun. Come on. Ignore my face. Look at the mini. So that's the regular Sawagan. I'll show you all 3. I showed you all 3 of the single color ones. Let's see, like, they really did a great job with painting these. They look incredible. And of course, all of the minis are labeled on the bottom, so you can see what is what. And it's blurry, but I promise it's there. There it is. They're labeled and they're numbered. Wait, is that the one I already showed you? This is the one I haven't shown yet. So this is the last of the 3 regular Sawagan painted. And then we have the 2 Sawagan Blade Masters. And they're like this nice, like, kind of teal color. I really like it. It really differentiates them. And again, the detail on these is just absolutely gorgeous. I like how they chose kind of the gray color for the shield. I think that was a really smart choice because it doesn't overpower all of the colors on the figure otherwise. And like I'm looking close at these and they did an amazing job. I think they look incredible. And this is the other Sahuagin Blade Master. Just fantastic. I cannot get over how great these are. And then this, of course, is the Sahuagin Champion. And again, you can see he has a trident thing. It's not really a trident. I'm not sure what that weapon's called, but it's cool. The colors, again, are really gorgeous, and he kind of, everything is very cohesive with the Sahuagin, so you can really kind of, everything kind of goes together. Now let's show you the villains, and then I'll show you side by side what each of them looks like. So this is the Sahuagin Baron. He's the one with the big trident that I had mentioned earlier about being careful when you open it. And again, they really got into the texture here. The people who painted this just did fantastic. They look great. I'm trying to get real close so you can kind of see all the details and textures and stuff. But they look fantastic. Trying to turn with one hand is very challenging. You can see, like, they really got every detail on these amazingly beautiful. And then this is the Sahuagin High Priestess. And you can really see, you know, her cast and her spell here. The colors are awesome. The outfit's awesome. Just everything looks fantastic. And you can really see the love that went into these too. Like, the painting on them is just glorious. So let's do side by sides, and then we'll finish up. So first we'll look at two of the regular Sahuagin side by side. You know what I should do? I know what I should do to make this a little bit easier to see. I'm smart. So these are the regular Sahuagin. You can see just how really nice both of them are. The textures, the colors, you know, the single color still feels like it fits into that world, and the painted one is just out of this park, out of this world, knocked it out of the park. I combined two expressions there. So those are the regular Sahuagin. I'm not going to do that with all three, but you kind of can see what they look like. Next up is the Sahuagin Blade Masters. So again, like, they look great side by side. You can really see how really beautiful the paint job is, but also the fact that even without the paint, you catch every single texture on these minis, and they look fantastic. And I'm very happy with how we kind of did this. I think it looks great. I mean, all of the D&D Adventure System board games always look great, but I really love this one because I love the aesthetic of it. Next, we have the Sahuagin Champion. So again, you can see how fantastic they look. I'm running out of adjectives. What are your favorite adjectives to describe really nice looking minis? Because I'm running dry, guys. I need more. I need some new language. Tell me your secrets. So, just, they look beautiful. Then, of course, we have the villains. I'm going to do the High Priestess first, and then we're going to do the Baron, because the Baron is very tall, and I feel like he should be the last thing you see from this on the stream, because it's great. Yeah, the High Priestess, gorgeous. Looks amazing, and again, my point here, and the reason I'm putting them next to each other and showing you how amazing they both look, is because, you know, I always highly recommend getting the premium edition, because having the minis be fully painted really adds to your immersion. But if you can't, you know, for whatever reason you can't get the premium edition, you can only afford the standard edition, that's okay, because you're still getting some incredible miniatures. And that's kind of why I'm doing this way, because I want everyone to see just how fantastic both the standard and the premium edition minis are. And how they both deserve the same amount of love. And this is the Baron. Come on, please. Please focus. I will hopefully have a tabletop camera very soon. I have the camera, I just lost part of the setup that I need to be able to do it. So hopefully next week. But yeah, they both look fantastic. The textures, the color, the everything just looks great. And that is all the minis for D&D. You know what I should do? D&D Ghosts of Saltmarsh Adventure System Game Expansion. They are beautiful and really definitely worth every cent. Regardless of whether you decide to go with the premium edition or the standard edition, you can't go wrong with this game. Everything looks great. Just want to show you one more thing, and then we will wrap everything up and wait, that goes like that. Just show you really everything together, side by side, so you can kind of see just how great everything looks. So, these are all the minis, just side by side. I don't have a very wide camera screen, but you can see everything. Just, they're great. This whole game is great. This is really beautiful. So, fantastic job to the mini painters that worked on the premium edition. Fantastic job to the sculptors that created these minis, and of course, Wizards of the Coast for creating these characters and monsters in the first place. And great job to WizKids for producing this board game. So let's just really quickly go back to the little screen with the information about the game. Just as a reminder, 1 to 5 players, ages 14 and up. The game plays, it's an expansion, so you do need the other Adventure System board games to play it. You don't need all of them, you just need one of them. So some of the WizKids ones, if you have those or if you're looking at those, Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage, Temple of Elemental Evil, and Tomb of Annihilation are the WizKids Adventure System board games. Pick one of those up. You can combine it with that, play as your characters. It'll be really exciting, really, really fun. It plays in a little over an hour, and the price point for the standard edition is $49.99. The price point for the premium edition, which has the fully painted figures, is $89.99. I highly recommend you pick it up. This is hitting stores this month, and it's going to be really great. So I really hope that you pick them up. I hope that you enjoyed the show. I hope that you have a wonderful week. Just real quick before I go, before you bounce off, just one thing that I did want to mention to everyone is that tomorrow, Model Behavior will be showing. I will be doing the fall releases for D&D Icons of the Realms. So if you're, looking forward to some of the upcoming sets that we're releasing, I'm going to be showing you some really cool stuff. So absolutely tune in for that. It will be airing at noon. It's pre-recorded, but there's some really gorgeous minis in it, and I'm really excited to be able to talk about them. The other really important thing that you should definitely be aware of is that on Sunday, V-Muse, our miniature painting friend, is doing the Ogre Zombie Paint Night event live stream. Sunday, August 15th at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. She's going to be joined by celebrity guests Gabe Hicks and Jennifer Kretschmer, who are both incredible. And they're going to be painting live the Ogre Zombie. Head to your friendly local game store and you can pick up the Ogre Zombie Paint Night kit. It has everything you need to be able to paint the figure, and then tune into the stream, hang out, paint with them, share your progress with hashtag WKPaintParty4. We would love to have you. It's going to be a great time. I'm hopefully going to be able to tune in so I can paint too, and I'm really excited for it. But with that, I hope you all have a great day. I hope that you'll tune in tomorrow for Model Behavior. I would love to see you there. I'll be in the chat answering questions for that. So, but regardless, I hope you have a great day, great week. I hope you stay safe, you stay healthy. I love you. WizKids loves you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.